Hey everyone, today I'm going to practice drawing faces. I have some scrapbook paper out and I have some pencils and markers, not too much, I want to limit it. And today I want to talk about, I wonder why we are always also obsessed with perfection when it comes to faces. And I wanted to just show you my practice when I draw faces and how I think that perfection in general is highly overrated. I'm in my kitchen, my floor squeaks, so hopefully we'll get through this. But we are obsessed with perfection and there's no need. We are obsessed with this way of drawing a face, with the measuring, with the line down the center, and then the 1, 2, 3, however many, just all I see when I go on YouTube for face videos is that measuring, right? The circle with the line down the center and dividing it in half, and then putting the lip there, and then getting the eyes in just right. And I'm doing a really bad job because this is a great way to learn, but it's also a great way to lose all individuality when it comes to drawing faces. I want to practice drawing faces without perfection as the end result. I want to practice just drawing circles to get started and little lines to draw the eyes, nose, and mouth, and also creating characters, right? Why are we all sticking to one way of doing things? And why is there only one way of doing things when it comes to drawing faces? Like, when did it become one way only? Some of my favorite artists online are people who are not drawing perfectly. And it's funny because no matter how much I try or practice drawing perfectly, I just don't get any joy from that. So I'm just going to walk you through my own practice session for drawing faces and just playing around, as you can see, just playing around and avoiding the whole, self-judgment, which, we can't help but do. The whole self-judgment thing and the whole, being perfect thing. As you can see, I'm just playing around. I do think you can use lines if you want, like I'm using here. But the problem with that is when I do it, I get too tied up into the perfection. And then it takes me out of my zone for drawing faces and creating unique faces. And that's what I want to do. So I think I'm just going to practice, and I invite you to draw along with me. However I feel like, so there's no plan in mind. And that's the trouble sometimes with doing YouTube videos, is that I might want to do one thing, but then something else happens and, I'll say my title is one thing and then it ends up being something else. So all I have is some Hilroy Studio sketchbook paper. This is just manila paper for sketching. You can use any paper you want, even printer paper. I just happened to find this in my in one of the drawers in my art studio. And what I want to do is just practice really loose drawing and letting whatever faces come out. So I have a graphite, I guess this is a charcoal pencil by Derwent. I just have a whole selection of pencils, and I'm going to hold it really loose, and I'm going to avoid the whole measuring thing. When you lock yourself into measuring, it just becomes really, I tie myself into it, and then the joy is gone. And for me, when it comes to drawing, it's all about finding joy and sort of just like a relaxation with the drawing. I usually start with an oval, and then in this case, I just mapped out the ears. I want to do little lines for the eyes. I always have my eyes looking over. I don't really know why I do what I do, but I'm not sure how I'm feeling about the charcoal, but I'm coming down for her nose, and I'm just giving her something like you'd see in a cartoon, and maybe a little line for the lips. And I'm just playing around. I'm not sure what's going to evolve here, but I'm liking it so far. And that's the thing, like you can look and say, oh, her ears are too big or her neck is too wide. But ultimately for me, I'm trying to keep everything loose and gestural and not locking myself into anything. And I could see, look, I'm making mistakes, but I am just going to keep going. And now that I've gotten that part in, I think I might get my marker out a bit. And remember, if you're practicing in a sketchbook, one of the things I'm constantly saying is then you really figure out what you like and what you don't like. I kind of like her. I think I'm going to do like a little indent here to bring her cheek and then bring her chin down. And then I'm making her neck a little longer. And I think what I'll do now is get her hair in a little nicer. Maybe. I do like her nose. I think it's kind of fun sometimes to do noses a little bit different. I think one of the things I've been playing with too is fancier eyebrows. And I'll give her some eyelids. It's really just about playing when it comes to your sketchbook. I think one thing you can do when it comes to practicing in your art journal is pick one thing. One thing that you like in the drawing. If I were to pick one thing that I like in this drawing, it would be her lips. I like that I was really, I had like a really light touch with her lip. I just drew like a line and then I really just colored in the lip. And really just play around with lips. And so I kind of like what I did there. Okay, let's see what we can do next. Probably should just get my paper out instead of doing this. Let's see what comes up next. Maybe I'll draw a bunch of circles like I always do. And remember, I'm holding my pencil very loose. And sometimes these circles come out as ovals and they're all kind of different. But you can literally practice, okay, I've got my circles and now for everything I'm just going to do a curved line. I'm going to do a curved line for the eye, a curved line for the nose, a curved line for the mouth. And then see how I could fill that in. Can I fill the mouth in like this? You really need to get back into playing and letting go of perfection, because I don't know who made these rules about having to be perfect. You could also try different art supplies like a marker and a pen and then go from there. Like I'm going to bring the corner of her eye down. Maybe I'll bring it down further and go up a little bit and then like this. Because I see some people doing eyes like that. And maybe I'll draw a circle there where the line is. And remember, none of it's going to be perfect. This looks really, really different. But I'm going to draw a circle for her cheeks because that's what I feel like doing. I feel like I'm going to extend her eyes and then draw like a circle for her chin. It's really all about play. Maybe I'll draw a line down her, like up, extending up above her head because I know that's where her hair will be. And again, you're playing in your sketchbook and you are so not focused on realism. I'm going to draw some little lines like this because I did this yesterday and it was super fun, or the other day. And I just did like her eyes closed. And I think I did like little dots for her nose. I do kind of like this curved line for the lips, like just doing a curved line and going around that. And I'm going to draw her eyelids. Now notice I have her eyebrows coming right up over, extending over the lines. But if you're in your sketchbook, it kind of helps you decide where you want to go. I kind of like making adjustments as I go. I like making her neck and then maybe some jewelry. And I can play with this. Make this longer there. And it looks kind of cool. And then I want to get my pencil out, okay? It's all about play. I think we've gotten out of that. I think we've gotten so like frozen because we want to do perfect. Like you procrastinate your practice because you want it to be perfect, when really all the folks on sort of YouTube or anywhere else who are teaching you how to draw, at some point their drawings were imperfect. But I honestly feel like the character in your drawing and discovering your own art style is dependent on your ability to play and let go and decide that it's okay to not be like everyone else. Now, I think for this one, I wanted to do, like, I look at her eyes and I think I want to focus on the iris or the pupil or whatever. So I'm going to draw the curved line and like half a circle. And I want to draw like little lines in her eyes. And I kind of like that. And again, I'm trying to go down a bit more for the eyes, like a little bit more. And I do like just drawing the two lines for her nostrils, and then just kind of going from there. I like a high arch for her brow. Let's give her a high arch. And then again, that little line for her mouth. And I could easily grab, I'll grab a red. I could easily grab a red and just almost draw a circle. So much fun. And then like she's starting to come to life, even though that circle is not perfect. I didn't have to measure a circle in all these lines and things. I'm going to give her some green eyes because I spent some time drawing her eyes. Normally I don't do that. And then I could get like my Sharpie marker and I could be like, oh, I'm going to give her like a cat eye. And like little dots. But you're never going to sort of discover your own style, I think, in my personal opinion, if you're not willing to do some weird art and just go crazy with it and decide like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like if you're too busy coloring inside the lines or thinking that everyone else knows the secret to drawing without trusting your inner self, you're going to be frustrated for sure. I know I am. I know I am when and I will do it. I've been drawing forever and I still do it. I will look and admire other people's artwork and then I will go in and be like, ooh, I want to draw faces the way everyone else draws faces. And then I do that and I feel unfulfilled. Because it's not my style and I'm basically trying to copy someone else. Not typically copy, but I'm basically admiring someone's style so much that I discard my own. Because I think they know more than me, or maybe their art is better than mine, but ultimately you need to release what's within you. And that has nothing to do with what anyone else is doing online. Or what any other artist is doing. You have to be willing to be imperfect and make the ugly art. I think for this lady, and I know I'm rambling, that's usually I edit my videos, but I don't feel like it today. I think for this one, I'm gonna have flowers. And sometimes it takes a few faces before you get into your own zone. And maybe she'll have flowers too. Let's see. I love drawing in my kitchen. The squeaky floor is problematic. The setup is problematic, but it is a beautiful sunny day and we've had a lot of snow. Okay, so sometimes I want to play around with the eyes. Once I've played around, I definitely like doing this. I love this. I love this, but I know I want to do one of the things I love to do if you watch my videos. It's almost like these glasses, but I still like to sort of have her eyes showing. So it's not like she's wearing like sunglasses. And I think I'll do like a circle for her nose. And then maybe I'll do like, oh, I'll give her some freckles. Never done that. Sometimes when I do the glasses too, like I forget to do the eyebrows. And I'm going to give her curly hair. And for me, curly hair is just circles. There we go. Ooh, I'm really liking her. I wonder what I should do for her. Sometimes it helps to go on Pinterest and get ideas. I think I want her to have. There we go. I definitely like the eye arches. I'm going to give her a dash for her. There we go. She looks very serious. I think sometimes too, the characters develop themselves. I also really like what I'm noticing. So the other thing that's going to happen for you is if you're practicing different things, you're going to notice what you like. I am liking the charcoal pencil to add a little shading along with the color. So I'm going to add a little shading. Now I'm just going to go a little heavy on her. I love her eyes and her eyes. Okay. I'm going to grab the red for her lips. And again, you can see I'm holding my pen very loosely. I'm not like in there. I find if you're in there like this and you're like literally trying to control everything, that's when all my mistakes happen, to be honest. Okay, so now you want to go in and you want to examine what you've just drawn or save it and come back to it later. You can see what colors do I like? What style do I like? I think the ones I'm liking here are the three on the right. I like her eye. I like it with the eyes shut. And I think what came here were the way I did the eyes, but also this shading with my charcoal pencil. It's all about drawing and like evaluating what you like, what you don't like. But here's the thing. If you gave up in the middle of one of your drawings, then you're not going to be able to pick one thing that you liked from this. You're going to think you're terrible at drawing when really you just got to find one thing. So I'm going to write that down again, one thing. And if you have more than one thing that you like, that's fantastic. But for me, I'm thinking I am liking the eyes of this lady and this lady here. I like the eyes. I also like the charcoal for shading. Okay, I like the charcoal. So what you can do is, fill your sketchbook with faces, pick out that one thing that you like, point it out, and then you can go back through your art journal and see, oh my gosh, yes, I forgot I like to draw eyes like that. Oh, I forgot about using the charcoal, because I think what happens, I know for me, I just keep going. I just keep going and keep going, and I forget all the things I've done. Because if you've watched my channel, I used to say that I throw out my sketchbooks And that becomes problematic because I forget about the things that I've done and what I like, that one thing that I like. Instead, what happens is you'll draw, become frustrated, throw it out, and never look back when maybe you were just having a bad day. Maybe you were just being overcritical of yourself. Let's do one more and see what we can do. All right, flying by the seat of my pants here, not looking at any references and just playing around. And I'm hoping, I'm using my iPad, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't zoom in and out. It tends to blur when I talk with my hands. Okay. I did the oval. I'm gonna practice, we could be really wild and be like, oh, I'm gonna practice with maybe some squares. Like lean into discomfort and make some weird shapes and think to yourself, oh my God, what am I gonna do here? Okay, so I know this is almost like an oval. So I think what I'll do is put an eye here, an eye here. And sometimes it's a matter of just like really getting out of your comfort zone. Now, one of the things that I liked on the other page was how I drew like the actual eye and maybe some lines there. So I'm going to do that again. The goal is to discover your own style. But also let's forget realism, and let's forget perfectionism, and let's embrace that bizarre kind of cuckoo art that I think makes the world go round, makes things a little more interesting. Then, we've got to find out who we are. And that's done for me through art. Or creating in general. I kind of like it, and maybe this will be her cheekbones. So maybe I'm gonna come in. Do I like this? That's the other thing. Do I like what I'm doing here? I don't. So I'm not gonna give up, but I'm gonna be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get the charcoal out. I'm not gonna give up because then I can't realize my potential. How do I know what it could have been if I don't continue and finish this? She's kind of looking up, so I'm kind of giving a curve to her face. And now, for me, this is kind of coming to life. I wonder if I do like that loose hair. I feel like I'm trying to like make her head a little wider here. Okay, I feel like I'm getting somewhere. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, and now I'm gonna get out my Sharpie again. Oh, I don't even think I used my Sharpie. I'm gonna get my Sharpie out and play around. I do like her eyelashes kind of coming out like this. I definitely want to get her hair sort of, she's got that big loose bun. Okay, and now what I'm going to do maybe is draw some earrings. And I'm keeping it a little bit abstracted, or maybe she'll have like a dress on. Ooh, I'm really liking the lips. This is a temper paint stick. It's another way to add some fun to your art. I'll say that I like her nose. And charcoal. I definitely would want to try this one again, or chin, like, and make adjustments. But you're not going to learn if you don't try. I wonder if I could. Nah, I'd like a bigger marker for that. But again, you can flip through and keep what you like and make note of the thing that you liked. What aspects of your artwork do you like and can you keep for the next time? If you are too focused on being perfect, then you're going to miss out on your own unique art style. And I have been focused on that lately, especially sometimes when I'm doing my videos. It's only when I let go. It's when I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna do a video on how to draw faces and it's gonna be so perfect. And it might be perfect, I guess, or more real. Like, I stick to the circle and the U shape because I like to break it down and make it easy, but I have actually wanted to do more realism type faces, right? And teach that, but I find it really, like, I have to accept that that's not for me. I don't like it. It's no fun. Okay. One of the things I like to do too is draw like the nutting in front of their face, like this, some kind of old school type drawing. And so I did the little bit of netting there. I don't have a lot of colors. I wonder if I could, there we go. I like that. And I really do like red for their lips. Hopefully I'm not getting in the video, like. And then what you can do is get your charcoal out and try like to do some shading. Ooh, I like that. You could also look at patterns and do patterns. I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I wish I had, I like black. I wish I had black for her outfit. I like a outfit in black and then the bright red lips. And I also love gold for the earrings, but I really wanted to limit my palette and the colors I chose because sometimes I get too wrapped up in all of that. So this is definitely my style. I think I felt way more comfortable just drawing this, but now I'm seeing I really like the charcoal. My takeaway today is that, and what I wanted to mention is that you literally have to embrace your own style, appreciate other styles of other artists, but feel free to embrace your own style and draw what you love. Perfection is not required. And if we all tried to draw like everyone else and be as perfect as the artists that we admire, we kind of lose our own sense of self in the process and our own unique style. And also, if we just toss out something because we feel like we made a mistake, we missed what could have been if we kept going and trying new things. Whether it's like, oh, I like using charcoal, or oh, I like, drawing red lips, or oh, I like loose style drawing. Like, if you give up, you never reach that point. So I think that was just the purpose. Oh, I like this one. I think that's just the purpose of my video today is embrace the mistakes. Perfection is not required. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy sketching.